Bluffs. Oh. Man. Oh. Wow, it's great to be here at Bass Pro. I tell you, I feel right at home. You know, driving past those tree stands coming in here, it just gets me excited to know that in a few weeks I'll be in a tree stand with my daughter after we will have elected Mitt Romney the next president of the United States. I also want to thank this nice young lady for bringing that great Green Bay Packers sign there. They're up 7-3 right now, so come on, everybody's for that, right? Look, Kim Reynolds, what a great leader, Kim. Thank you so much. You're a fantastic Lieutenant Governor. Thank you for your service to Iowa. Thank you for your service to our country. And thank you all. More than 1,000 of you showed up this morning. Thank you for coming out. Friends, look, as a next-door neighbor, as a Wisconsinite, I gotta tell you, we have a big responsibility. A handful of states will determine not just who's going to be the next president for 4 more years. Iowa and a couple of other states may very well determine what kind of country we're going to be and what kind of country we're going to have for at least a generation. This is a big election. This is an election that is not an ordinary election. It's the most important election in your lifetime, no matter what generation you come from. I think your presence here, we understand that. You take a look at what the president's doing, at what the president's saying, at what he's done. He's not offering anything new or any second-term agenda. We've had 3 debates, we've had lots of campaigning, and all we're getting is a smaller and smaller campaign. You see, he can't run on his record. He's not offering anything new. He's not showing where he would lead the country, but it's not very difficult to see where it would go because it's 4 more years of the same that we simply cannot afford. What we do know is that he's promising about 1 million successful small businesses get a really big tax increase in January. What we do know is that that could cost us 700,000 jobs. What we do know is that that one tax increase doesn't even pay for 10% of all the spending increases he has planned. What we do know is that he has given us 4 budgets with $1 trillion deficit each and every time. What we do know is that if he got another term, we'd blow past the $16 trillion debt onto a $20 trillion debt. What we do know, without a shred of doubt, is that these young people on their parents' shoulders here in this audience are being consigned to a generation of debt, to a diminished future, the likes that we have never seen in this country before. What we do know is that it is within our own doing, the power of democracy, the power of our ballots, to make sure that that future does not occur by electing Mitt Romney the next president of the United States. We don't want a government takeover of healthcare. We don't want a raid of Medicare. We don't want the Keystone Pipeline being canceled and oil going to China. We have energy in this state, in our country. We want to use that energy in our state, in our country, so we can create jobs, get people back to work. We want to keep our tax rates on families and small businesses low so we can have more take-home pay, so we can create jobs, so we can get people back out of poverty onto prosperity. We want a leader who will tackle our country's challenges instead of ducking our country's challenges. That's the kind of man that Mitt Romney is. But here in the Midwest, we believe that hard work reaps rewards. We teach our kids that if you work hard and you play by the rules, you can get ahead in society. We teach our kids honesty and fairness. We teach our kids that hard work means other people can get ahead. That's the kind of values and the kinds of principles that made us so great. Look, thank you. I look around here and I see veterans. I saw a Navy guy right over there. I see Army. I know there's some Air Force and some Marines and probably some Coast Guard. You have done so much to preserve our liberties and our freedoms so that we can enjoy the great idea of America. Every generation is tasked with this responsibility. It is also up to us to honor you by exercising our freedoms properly. And that means those principles that we so fought hard to keep, that made this country great. Liberty, freedom, and free enterprise, self-determination. The government works for us and not the other way around. Those are the principles that built this country. You know, this isn't Republican or Democrat, this is the American idea. You know, my wife Jan and I, we had a great trip on eastern Iowa. That's where my wife's side of her family comes from Clinton and from New Hampton and Saudi. My grandfather went to Loris. I live about 2 hours from Dubuque. We all were raised with the same ideals. And that is, if your country has a problem, you go fix your country's problems. You fix it so your kids are better off. You need leaders to be honest with us. That's the kind of guy Mitt Romney is. This is a man, throughout whatever he has done in his life, the one thing that rushes to your mind is that this is a leader. This is a man who, where others have failed, he has succeeded. This is a man who not only turned around the Olympics, who turned around struggling businesses and helped create tens of thousands of jobs. This is a man, when he was governor of a Democratic state, he didn't demonize Democrats. He didn't tell them to go packing. He didn't demagogue them. He reached across the aisle. He didn't compromise principles. He found common ground. He got things done. He balanced the budget without raising taxes. That's the kind of leader we need. Real leadership. The good news is it is not too late to get this right. It's not too late to get our country on the right track. We know what we need to do. And so what Mitt Romney and I are offering is not just a well-founded critique of the Obama administration. You see, the president can't run on his record, so he's trying to win by default, by distracting people, by distorting our record, by trying to say, the other guy's so bad, therefore vote for me by default. That's not what we're going to do. We owe you solutions. We owe you ideas. That's exactly what we're doing. That's what our 5-point plan's all about. That's why we're saying, here's how you save Medicare for my mom's generation and for my children's generation. Here's how you save Social Security. Here's how you balance the budget. Here's where you cut spending. Here's how you clean up the tax mess in Washington so we can create jobs. Here's how you have an energy policy, an education policy. Here's how you champion small businesses. Here's how you get people back to work. Here's how you grow the middle class. Here's an agenda to get America back on the right track, to make sure that we look back at this moment as a time we've got our country fixed. Look, we are a people who persevere. I see this Nebraska Cornhusker hat here, and I'm reminded of this. I'm reminded of how we blew a 17-point lead at halftime. The Cornhuskers persevered. You beat Northwestern, too. 29-28. That's perseverance. I'm hoping by the next couple of hours, the Packers will have persevered over the Rams. Who's with me? All right. Iowa State's having a great year. Cornhuskers are a great team. The Hawkeyes, Big Ten country, that's where we are. And in Big Ten country, we take care of our kids, we take care of our neighbors, we're honest, we tackle our problems, and we want to look back at this moment as the time we got it right. Right here at Bass Pro, it's where we take our kids to teach them values. It's where we look at the traditions we have in this country that made us so unique and so great. And right here at this moment is where we look back upon as when we elected a leader to confront our country's problems, to get us back on the right track. So here is our commitment. We are not going to ignore these problems. We are not going to blame other people for 4 more years. We're going to take responsibility, we're going to lead, and we're going to fix this mess in Washington. I see a Cub Scout right here. What are you, bear, wolf, bobcat? I can't see, buddy. You're Weeblo. Oh, wait. Sorry, I didn't mean to imply an emotion. My boys are bear and wolf. The point is, we teach our kids these values. We expect that we ourselves live by those values we teach our kids. We don't ignore problems. We don't blame other people. We don't kick the can down the road. And as sure as not, we will not transform this country into what it was never intended to be. We will not replace our founding principles. We will reapply our founding principles. That's what we believe in this country. We can do this. This is within our grasp. So Council Bluffs, Cornhuskers, Hawkeyes, and everybody in between, even my fellow Packer fans and Badgers, which I see a few of you here in the audience. Okay, maybe 4. We can do this. We can get this country back on the right track. Let's look back at this moment as when we did it. We need your help. Iowa, you're so used to it. You're used to being the eye of the storm. You're used to seeing this. You have a responsibility and an opportunity and an obligation to help us get this country back on the right track, so that we look back at this moment as when we reclaimed our freedoms, when we got our jobs back, when we got our economy growing, when we restored the American promise of upward mobility, the American idea, and when we made sure that we did right by our children and our grandchildren like our parents did for us. Let's do this, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Let's get this done. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless you all.